जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भाई चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका गौ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की गंगा माए की जमुना माए की तुलसी महारानी की भक्ति देवी की श्री श्री निताई गौर सुंदर की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा देवी की समस्त उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री श्री गुरु एंड गौरांगा श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत आदि लीला चैप्टर 5 टेक्स्ट 58 सेते मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति सेते मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति सेते मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति सैता मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति सैता मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति सैत मायार द्विविधा अवस्थिति जगतेर उपादान प्रधान प्रकृति word by word meaning say that the certainly mayara of material energy Dvividha, two varieties, avasthiti, existence, jagatera, of material world, upadana, the ingredients, pradhana, named pradhan, prakriti, material nature. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of material world. So let's repeat. Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of material world. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Maya, the external energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, is divided into two parts. Maya is both the cause of cosmic manifestation and the agent who supplies its ingredients. As the cause of cosmic manifestation, she is known as Maya, and as the agent supplying the ingredients of cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhana. An explicit description of these divisions of external energy is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.24, 1-4. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.63-26, the ingredients and cause of material cosmic manifestation are described as follows. Kalo daivam karma jivaha svabhavo dravyam kshetram prana atma vikaraha tat sanghato bijroha pravahas tvan mayesha tan nishedham prapadye. O my Lord, time, activity, providence and nature are four parts of causal aspect, Maya, of external energy. The conditioned vital force, the subtle material ingredients called Dravya, the material nature which is field of activity where the false ego acts as the soul, as well as the 11 senses and 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air and ether, which are the 16 ingredients of body. These are the ingredients aspect of Maya. The body is generated from activity and activity is generated from the body. Just as a tree is generated from the seed that is generated from a tree. This reciprocal cause and effect is called Maya. My dear Lord, you can save me from this cycle of cause and effect. I worship your lotus feet. Although the living entity is primarily related to the causal portion of Maya, he is nevertheless conducted by ingredients of Maya. Three forces work in the causal portion of Maya: knowledge, desire, and activity. The material ingredients are a manifestation of Maya as Pradhana. In other words, when the three qualities of Maya are in a dormant stage, they exist as Prakriti, Avyakta, or Pradhan. The word Avyakta referring to the non-manifested in another name of Pradhan is another name of Pradhan. In the Avyakta stage, material nature is without varieties. Varieties are manifested by the Pradhan portion of Maya. The word Pradhana is therefore more important than Avyakta or Prakriti. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sanat Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nityanandam aham nomi sarvananda param karam harinama pradam devam avadhuta shiromanim Nityananda namastubhyam premananda pradayane kalau kalmashanashaya Shri Jahnava Pataye Namaha. Namasrishtham manopi shatri putratra surupam rupam tasyagrajam urupuri mathurim goshtavatim Radha kundam girivaramaho radhika madhavasham prapto yasya pratita kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद, जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद. First of all, I would like to seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis. Kindly bless me so that I can speak something for my purification and the pleasure of all the assembled Vaishnavas. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter is glorifying Lord Nityananda Balram. And these initial 7 chapters are really very, very philosophical. Kaviraj Maharaj first encapsulates these in few verses, 11 verses, and then expands in initial 7 chapters, rather 8 chapters actually. They are really, really philosophical. And 5th chapter glorifies Lord Nityananda Balram. And if you see in past couple of verses, Kaviraj Maharaj is talking about Srashta Purush or the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, or sometimes we call Mahavishnu as well. So in the 56th verse, then Kaviraj Maharaj talks about that how Srashta Purush or the Karanodakshaya Vishnu is the cause of universe, and how he cast his glance on the Maya, and then the Srishti or the creation actually further progresses. Then in 57th verse, 57th text, Kaviraj Maharaj says, Maya Shakti rahe karana abdhira bahire, karana samudra maya parashite nare. That Maya Shakti resides outside the Karana ocean. So outside means the Karana ocean, or we call this Karana ocean as Viraja also. Viraja means without Raja, without any material qualities. So that is actually spiritual world, but that is a borderline between spiritual world and material world. So Maya is actually towards the material world side. It is not towards the spiritual world side. And in this particular verse, Kaviraj Maharaj is talking about Pradhan and Maya. So what he says, Maya acts in 2 ways. Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Maya acts in 2 ways. So as an agent, she supplies all the dravyam, all the ingredients basically for the material cosmic manifestation. And as Maya herself, she creates what? Illusion. As the name itself says, Maya. Ma means which is not, Ya means this. This means this which is not, that is called Maya. What we understand it is, but it is not, that is Maya. And the biggest Maya or the biggest illusion is, I am the body. I am Indian, I am the HOD, I am this, I am that, I am American, I am white, I am black, I am wheatish, or I am educated, or I am a manager, or I am whatever. So this is Maya. So, the verse what Srila Prabhupada quotes in the purport from 10th canto is a very significant verse. It actually appears when Lord Krishna has a battle with Banasur. So I think you all know this story that Banasur and Lord Krishna had a great battle, and Banasur was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva actually fought from Banasura's side against Lord Krishna. So this sounds very, very difficult to understand, that how come Lord Shiva, who himself is a, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. That's what Bhagavatam at the end says. Nimnaganam yatha Ganga and Devanam achyuto yatha Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu Purananam idam tatha. That Nimnaga, the thing or the liquid which flows Nimna, towards the lower side. If this liquid or any liquid you just leave from the higher platform to the lower platform, it will flow. So Nimna Ga means who flows toward downside. That means rivers. Nimna Ganam Yatha Ganga means in the rivers, as we know Ganga, Devanam Achyuto Yatha. amongst all the worshipped personality, it's Achyuta, means Lord Krishna. Is the greatest. So greatest river is Ganga, greatest worshipped personality is Lord Vishnu. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. Amongst all the Vaishnavas, the greatest Vaishnava is who? Lord Shiva, Shambhu. And Purananam idam tatha, Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the greatest Amala Puran. So then it is very difficult to understand that how come Lord Shiva did that. But this is all an arrangement, or you can say pastime within the Lord, arrangement. So when Lord Shiva was fighting against Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva threw a very fierce weapon which was known as Shiva Jwara. Jwara is what I call fever. There's a fever which Lord Shiva threw. And this was extremely hot. Extreme means extreme hot. And all the army toward Lord Krishna's side, they started, feeling very hot, burning. Okay? Tapta. And then Lord Krishna, what he did, he just manifested his own weapon against Lord Shiva's weapon, which was Vishnu Jwara. That was extremely cold. Extreme cold. And that nullified, rather not even just nullified the effects, it actually overpowered all the effects of Shiva Jwara. So much so that Shiva Jwara started fearing for his life. Oh my God, this Vishnu Jwara is going to kill me, is going to, And in Purport, Prabhupada says something very significant. He says, to tolerate summer, heat of the summer is still, possible. Like for example, Prabhu is not wearing kurta, it's just chadar. Okay, it's hot, no problem. But in winters, one inner, one sweater, jacket, another jacket, and I don't know what. But still, when Shishira comes, okay, when the peak winter comes, the body shivers. And in some of the remote places on this planet, the temperature goes like -20, -30, -40, that much. So it's very, very difficult to tolerate. So Vishnu Jwara is very, very cold, extreme cold. So Shiva Jwara was really terrified for his own life, and actually he, as a personality, as a person, he actually started praying to Lord Krishna. And this verse actually appears there. So it's a very significant verse. What it says, Kalo Daivam Karma Jiva Swabhavo Dravyam Kshetram Prana Atma Vikaraha Tat Sanghato Bij Roha Pravahas Ton Maya Esha Tan Nishedham Prapadya. So in order to save his life, what he says, O my Lordship, O my Lord Krishna, dear Lord Krishna. The Kala means the time. Daivam means the you can say destiny. Okay, Daiv, the destiny or the fate. Karma, the Jiva, whenever Jiva goes from one life to another life, the Jiva carries the quota of his own karmas. Jiva means the living entity itself. Swabhava, also Jiva carries what? Karma as well as Swabhava, so nature. Dravyam, all these material elements which are helping for the material, cosmic manifestation, all Dravya. Kshetram, this body. And Atma. Prabhupada translates this Atma as the false ego. Atma not as a soul, Atma is a false ego here. Vikaraha. Vikara means the transformations. Means what Shiva Jwara is saying, that all these elements, when they are combined, then a lot many vikaras or the transformations happen actually. Okay? How? Tat sanghato. When they come in the contact with each other, then it happens. Bijo raho pravahas. How we can understand this? Bija, like the beej, as soon as you sow a seed, what happens? It sprouts, then the plant is there, and plant grows into a tree gives a fruit again drops on the ground, and the seed again gives another another tree, birth. So what Shiva Jwara says, this is like a pravaha, a constant flow. The bija, tree, bija and the tree, bija and the tree. That's how it's so means it's like a janma mrityu, janma mrityu, janma mrityu, janma mrityu. Okay, in between old age and death and disease, old age, disease, or whatever, the part and parcel of the body are there. So what Shiva Jwara says as a prayer, that Twan Maya, such Esha means such a Maya, who can overcome such a Maya? Only and only you can do the nishedha. Actually, you can stop this. You don't understand this Hindi word, is the Sanskrit word, nishedh. Like if you go to any place, in English it is written no entry. In Hindi it is written pravesh nishedh, means no entry. So this constant flow or the pravaha actually can be checked or stopped only and only by you, my Lord. That means you are the only one who can control or check or stop Maya. That's why prapadde, I take your shelter. So this is the verse which is quoted by Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada talks about Pradhan and Maya in the purport. So let's try to understand what actually is Pradhan in a simple format. I mean, I'll try to, describe as simple as possible. So it's very, very technical. I mean, Bhagavatam 2nd canto and 3rd canto give vivid description about what is Pradhan, what is Prakriti, what is Maya, etc., etc., etc. So Pradhan means when Srashta Purush or Karanadaksha Vishnu, when he's lying in the Karana Arnava, Arnava means the waters, in the waters of the Karana ocean, and so many universes are actually emanating from his pores. Multiple universes are emanating. And all these universes, all these Brahmandas, they are not in active form. They are in inactive form. Or in Sanskrit, the technical word is Sushupta Avastha. They are in the Sushupta Avastha. And so how can you understand, let's say for example, if there's a go down, okay, like we have our DT kitchen, we definitely have our go down also where there's so many things are, so many raw material like rice, wheat, sugar, so many raw ingredients are there. So if somebody wants to cook a nice feast or nice prasadam for the Lordship, so then if the godown is locked, then we cannot do anything. So the godown is to be unlocked. So what is the unlocking process? Karanadaksha Vishnu actually glances over these material elements, all this dravyam. He glances. So this inactive or sushupta stage actually transforms into active. How? The very first thing what happens is, this pradhan does not have two elements. Is it becoming too technical? Okay. So it does not have two elements. First, the pradhan does not have jiva. Okay. So Lord Karanadaksha's glance actually impregnates or gives the jiva into the material creation. When the jiva comes, as we discussed earlier, a few minutes back, when jiva comes with two things. What are those two things? Sorry? Desire, okay. Desire is a more technical. Karma. First is karma, second is swabhav. So desire is like swabhav. So karma and swabhav. Jiva come as a package with karma and swabhav. So that is first. Second is kal, or the time factor. Time factor is actually absent in Pradhan itself. So Lord Vishnu's glance or Lord Karanadaksha Vishnu's glance actually gives these two elements. Further, Lord does not stop. Lord actually further keeps on glancing. So what happens when Lord glances on Jiva and Pradhan as well as the time factor, then it creates something called as Mahat Tattva. Okay, Mahat Tattva is created. So actually speaking, these are very, very subtle things which in the gross body Jiva cannot experience. It is mentioned in 2nd and 3rd canto in detail, but it is actually more philosophical instead of rather to have a practical understanding. Like for example, if we say, Prabhu, please come and sit with us in the Kirtan and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's a very practical experience. Okay, chant japa, it's a practical experience. Jiva the living entity starts taking shelter in form of chanting japa or the chanting of the holy names, then it's a practical experience. But these things are more philosophical. So then when Lord actually glances on the Mahat Tattva, it actually creates what? Ahankar, or the false ego, which was also absent earlier. So false ego. And when further, Ahankar is actually divided into three. Three means three modes actually. So false ego or the Ahankar in the mode of goodness, false ego in the mode of passion, and false ego in the mode of ignorance. So these three. So what further is created, or what further actually manifests when Lord Karanodakshaya Vishnu's glance actually interacts with false ego in the mode of goodness? What it creates? It creates man, or the mind. It creates mind. Also it creates something called as sense devatas. There are actually different demigods who actually control different of our, different senses in our body. Like for example, the eyes, the sense devata for eyes is sun, Surya Dev, okay? And for our hands and legs, it is Indra Dev. For our tongue, it is, I think, Ashwini Kumar. Sorry, nostril. For nostril, it is Ashwini Kumar. Okay, for tongue, it is Varun Dev. Varun Dev is for the tongue. So different. And false ego, when it interacts with mode of passion, then what happens? It actually generates 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. Karmendriya means the 5 action senses, like this body, okay, mainly. And 5 jnanendriyas means 5 knowledge acquiring senses. So it is in the mode of passion. And when false ego interacts with the mode of ignorance, then we get Pancha Mahabhut, Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. Okay, Prithvi means the earth, Jal, water, Agni, fire, Vayu is air, and Akash is ether. So these are created. Also, in the mode of ignorance, when the Lord actually interacts with mode of ignorance with his glance, then what happens? It creates 5 tanmatras. Tanmatras are 5 sense objects. What are 5 sense objects? First is sound, okay. Shabda, technically it's called Shabda. Sparsh is the touch. Yes. Third is, probably you're saying nose, or you can say actually smell. Yes, smell. Smell is a technical word, is Gandha. Okay, Gandha. And taste, Rasa, taste. And what is left? Form. Yes, Rupa. So all the senses actually want to enjoy these tanmatras, or through these tanmatras we can say. So now when all these elements, whatever we discussed so far, when all these elements are brought together, means Pradhan, then Lord's glance, and then all these elements are created, when they're brought together in a very systematic way by Lord's arrangements, by Lord Maya Shakti. Lord directly does not do that. Lord arranges through Maya Shakti. Okay, the only thing what Lord does is the glance. Lord does not, in any time, place and circumstance, Lord never ever gets in touch with the material energy. Just the glance, nothing else. So in a very systematic way, when it is done, brought together, it becomes functional. So that's why in the purport Prabhupada is saying, these are product of Pradhan. And who supplies these products? With what agency? Maya, agency of Maya. Lord actually supplies all this. Then, in the second paragraph, if you see, Srila Prabhupada says, these forces work in a causal portion of Maya. Knowledge, Jnana Shakti. Knowledge means the Jnana Shakti. Desire means the Ichha Shakti. And activity means the Kriya Shakti. These 3. So, these 3, when they are inactive, and Lord glance makes them active. Okay? Are we together? I know it's very technical, very philosophical, but fifth chapter is like this. Initial 7 chapters are like that. So we can proceed to the next text. जगत कारण नहे प्रकृति जड़ रूप शक्ति संचारी तारे कृष्ण करे कृपा. Because Prakriti is dull, inert, it cannot actually be the cause of material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature. I think we discussed this, the same thing. Infuses energy through what? Through the glance, the eyesight. Text 60. Krishna Shakti Prakriti Haya Gauna Karana Agni Shakti Lauha Jaithe Karaye Jarana. Thus, Prakriti by energy of Lord Krishna becomes the secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by energy of fire. For example, if we have a rod, iron rod, so whenever we, in a normal condition, if we touch iron rod, it won't give any burning sensation or a burning feeling to the senses, to the hand, or wherever in any part of the body it is touched. But once Radha Govind Maharaj was saying in one lecture that if you put an iron rod in a fire, it becomes as good as fire. Okay, if you touch it, it rather gives more burning effect than the direct fire. Okay, so that's what Kaviraj Maharaj is saying, that just as iron becomes red hot by energy of fire. It is very straight. So we'll move to the next. Text 61. Ateva Krishna Mula Jagata Karana Prakriti Karana Jaiche Ajagalastana. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like nipples on the neck of goat, for they cannot give any milk. So, very significant. Kaviraj Maharaj says, Aja Galastana. Aja means the goat. Okay? And there are, there's a skin which is actually hanging at the goat's neck. It looks like nipples. But if somebody wants to milk those nipples, it cannot happen. If somebody wants to, okay, I want to get some milk out of it, it won't happen. So, in the purport, Prabhupada says, the external energy composed of Pradhan or Prakriti as the ingredient supplying portion and Maya as the causal portion is known as Maya Shakti. Inert material nature is not the actual cause of material manifestation. For Karana Arnavashayi Mahavishnu, the plenary expansion of Krishna, activates all the ingredients. It is in this way that material nature has the power to supply the ingredients. The analogy given is that the iron has no power to heat or burn, but after coming in contact with fire, the iron becomes red hot and can thus diffuse heat and burn other things. Material nature is like iron, for it has no independence to act without the touch of Vishnu, who is compared to fire. Lord Vishnu activates material nature by power of his glance, and then iron-like material nature becomes a material supplying agent, just as iron made red hot becomes a burning agent. Material nature cannot independently become an agent for supplying material ingredients. This is more clearly explained by Srila Kapila Dev, an incarnation of Godhead in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.28.40. Yatha ulmukad visphulingad dhumad vapi swaswambhavat api atmavena abhimatad yatha agni prithak ulmukad. Although smoke, flaming wood, and sparks are considered together as ingredients of a fire, and the flaming wood is nevertheless different from the fire, and the smoke is different from flaming wood, the material elements, earth, water, fire, etc., are like smoke. The living entities are like spark. Material nature as Pradhan is like flaming wood, but all of them together are recipient of power from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus able to manifest their individual capacities. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of all manifestation. Material nature can supply only when it is activated by the glance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's a kind of repetition, whatever we discussed so far. So this verse, what Kapil Dev is speaking, so we can actually try to understand. So Sanskrit texts, especially in Bhagavatam, are like any line you put in any order. It definitely makes a perfect sense. Still, it does not mean that, okay, first line has to be at the first place to understand only. Like, to understand this, we should go in the reverse order. Yatha Agni Prithak Ulmukat. As the Agni or the fire is Prithak, is separate from Ulmukat. Ulmukat is the flames. as the fire is separate from the flames, yatha ulmukat visfulingat, in the same way the ulmukat or the flames is different from the sparks. Then dhumat, in Hindi very simple, dhua or the smoke. Vapi swa sambhavat. So all this actually happens by itself when what happens? When fire is ignited. When fire is ignited, the flame comes, sparks come, okay, and dhua means also the smoke comes. It is not that it has to, separately brought together. They are separate. They are separate elements in itself, in themselves. But actually they are, when somebody sees a fire, then okay, smoke, separate, wood as a separate, fire as a separate, and blaze as a separate. No. When there is some blazing fire, in a simple terminology, what it is called as fire. Okay? It's a blazing fire, nothing else. So it appears as one thing, but it is not. It is separate actually. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport, the blazing, you can say the wood. Wood is what? Wood is actually Pradhan. And fire is what? Vishnu, the glance of Vishnu or Krishna himself. And spark is Jiva, and the smoke is the body, or the, you can say, senses. That's what Prabhupada actually gives the detail in the purport. So actually, Kaviraj Maharaj is going to, he's talking, if you see in the reverse order, so as of now, Kaviraj Maharaj is talking about Maya Shakti or Pradhan. So what is Maya? Maya is expansion of Lord Vishnu, Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Okay? And eventually what Kaviraj Maharaj will do, he will actually conclude the discussion that all this Karanodakshaya Vishnu, all this expansion, everything is but what? A kala. What is kala? The part of the part. Amsha. That's in the initial verses, Kaviraj Maharaj. Yes, say Amsha. Okay? So Ansha of the Ansha, which is called as kala. Of whom? Lord Nityananda Balram. Okay? They are like just part and the part, or the part of the part of Lord Nityananda Balram's expansion, not even the direct, their expansion. That's how he will actually conclude later. Ete cham shakala punsam. In the same way, we can understand. So, I know this is really philosophical, very, very technical, but that Kaviraj Maharaj says, I think in 14th chapter of Ādi-līlā, there's a very famous verse. How it goes? Yeah, Kathanchana smaret yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet. Kathanchana, somehow, if somebody remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, dushkaram sukaram bhavet. The most difficult thing becomes the most easy thing. And that's why, I know philosophy is very heavy, but the process what Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu has given is very, very simple. The same Lord Nityananda who is inconceivable, very, very difficult to understand. The same personalities, they are very, very easy to understand just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And as I requested earlier, I repeat myself, by Srila Prabhupada mercy, we have beautiful temple, we have our 24-hour Kirtan program, a constant Akhanda Harinam Sankirtan is going on. I request all of you, please participate for few hours every day. This is my humble request. And then this all philosophy, Dushkaram, Sukaram Bhave. All difficult aspects will be very, very easy to understand. Thank you so much. If there are any questions or comments. Yes, Rajkesha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I just didn't understand about the Amsha.
Yes, the Amsha. Actually, in the initial verses, Kaviraj Maharaj says that all the Mahavishnu, the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, they are not just even the Amsha, they are Ansha of the Amsha.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Also, I wanted to ask, the mind comes from Ahankara in the mode of Sattva, right? And then in the mode of Rajas, Buddhi comes, right?
Yeah.
The
intelligence.
Yeah. So why intelligence in the Rajas and mind in the Sattva? Do you know that?
Because anything which is connected to Rajogun, Rajagun means action. Okay? Mind can only contemplate and think. But what acts on those thought process? The intelligence. That is the reason. It's a very subtle thing because these are subtle elements. Are you able to understand? Like for example, if I go to Prasadam hall and there after Prasad there is a nice sweet gulab jamun. Okay? I got my one piece, but I want another piece. That's what who is saying? Mind. But what intelligence will do? Intelligence actually will give thoughts. It will start working on that. If you want to get another piece, you need to do this. Go in the line behind like this. Eat your gulab jamun first. And then you will see that, okay, then the devotee who is serving, oh, maybe he did not get the gulab jamun. Let me give him one gulab jamun. And then he will be very satisfied. And then the senses come. Senses and intelligence. So then senses, they are also in action. That's why senses are also part of Rajaguna. Okay, so mind and intelligence and senses, they work in conjunction. So Jiva actually can enjoy. I think it's my humble understanding.
Okay, last question. If the process is like very simple, just chant Hare Krishna,
yes.
Then like why we need to know all this, like details and all this?
That's what Kaviraj Maharaj says. Siddhanta sunya chitte nahi karo alasya. Iha haite Krishna lage sudrida manasa. If we really want to fix Krishna in our mind and consciousness very strongly, very deeply, then philosophy is very much required. Why? Because it gives the details about that Krishna. Like in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says something amazing. I was really amazed by reading that line. He says, if we really understand this easy part of philosophy, Siddhanta, then maybe we will be able to understand the very difficult part of Krishna Leela. That's what he says. Like generally what happens, generally we say, oh, Leela is very easy to understand. Pastimes are so easy to understand. Then philosophy is very difficult to understand. But he says exactly the opposite. And Chakravarti Pada is a great scholar. He cannot say anything like in a vague manner. So that's why if we understand Tattva Siddhanta very nicely, so in a solid way, solid fashion, then and only then actually we will appreciate and understand Krishna's pastimes. Otherwise there's a very, very good chance, so two possibilities are there. Either we'll become Sahajiyas or we can become Mayavadis also. Prabhupada used to say, in India, more than 90% people are actually Mayavadis. You scratch a little bit and Mayavad comes up on the surface. Externally they are doing Om Jai Jagadish, whatever, they worship, all respect, no criticism. But you just scratch a little bit, the Mayavad comes on the surface immediately. So that's the reason. That's why to understand Tattva Siddhanta is really, really important, rather the most important. Yes, Prabhuji. Shriram Pandit Prabhu. Yes. Okay, if you want to ask something, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have, my question is not question. My question is something like...
a comment.
Like that.
Yes.
So you said that the best is like that in rivers Ganga, and
yes.
then the best is Achyut. And you just said that Vishnu.
Yeah, Achyuta is Krishna, Vishnu. Achyuta means the person who never is Achyuta or falls from his original position.
Yes, but Vishnu and Krishna is different. When we say the best is only
in one
Krishna.
sense yes, in another sense no. Vishnu, what is Vishnu? Vishnu means Vyapatiti Vishnu. The personality who is Vyapta or manifested all across material and spiritual creation. That is Vishnu. But who is that Vishnu? That Vishnu is expansion of Krishna.
Yes.
So Bheda and Abheda. There is a Bhed, there is an Abhed.
Yes. The second thing is, you said that that Bhog is for Shiva.
Sorry?
That go down example.
Go down, yes.
That is for Shiva.
Shiva.
Yes. Because it is recording just by no, with all due respect I'm saying. So it is for Krishna. Like that only.
I said Shiva?
Yes.
Maybe by mistake. I'm sorry about that, if I said that.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. All the great scholars are asking questions. I'm really sorry.
So you mentioned about Prakriti, Pradhan and you also mentioned about the spiritual glance. So my question is, when this universe is dissolved, and I just read somewhere all the living entities at that time, based on their karma, some will go back, some actually enters Krishna's body.
Yes.
So when, or Vishnu's body. So when they enter Vishnu's body, as I understand, are they active or they inactive? Because when the new yuga starts, the living entities are again created. So they are inert matter at that time, and then Krishna glances, and then he impregnates them, and then they come into motion, because we have Newton's law, whatever is the law of motion, all those things.
Yes.
So, because, and at one place, it's also mentioned Krishna is actually, he just impregnates the material nature, and then he actually doesn't have control on the material nature. Then we have a philosophy of energy and energetic here. So Krishna is energetic, and then we have all these energies. So if I just let me know if like my understanding is correct. So these energies are the different demigods whom Krishna delegates this work. But then again, these demigods, are they part of the material nature or are they out of the material nature? So how does that communication happen? Because Krishna doesn't intervene in Jiva's life. Once he is impregnated, and then he sets into motion, and then his law of karma decides his next life or whatever next gati it is. So how does that communication channel, how is that channel established between Krishna, demigod, material nature, how these things move, and then ultimately there is a dissolution, again goes back to Vishnu's body, then again he impregnates. So it's so difficult to understand all this philosophy, and Prabhuji rightly said, one of my questions is, why do we, of course we need to understand how Krishna is great, but sometimes when you get entangled into this philosophy, it's too much, and we feel it's better just we chant our rounds, be happy. So how do you understand this?
Actually, honestly speaking, you asked the question and you yourself you were giving the answers also. Honestly, there's no question. You already gave all the answers. I will be repeating whatever you said. So, the only thing which I just want to comment on your question is, Jiva itself from a Tattva point of view is never material. Jiva is always spiritual. That is first. Yes, and you, as you rightly mentioned in the question itself, Lord Vishnu glances, and I mean all the creation comes from his bodily pores. Jiva is actually at that time is in an inert state. But when Lord actually glances, then it starts becoming interaction between the Mahatattva and the Jiva Tattva. And then it becomes active. Then all the previous karmas, the quota of karmas, they are actually, you can say, controlled by the different demigods, which are again expansions of Lord Vishnu only. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You were saying everything. You were asking the question, I don't know. That was not a question. That was actually a kind of a commentary. You already gave it. So your understanding is very correct. I mean, I also have the same understanding until somebody wants to give more, thoughts on that. So the Jiva is never material. Jiva is always spiritual. The only thing is, it is in a sushupta avastha. It's a kind of lying in a sleeping state. When the creation happens, when the Lord starts creating, then it comes into active state, from a dormant state to the active state. So that, and yes, I mean, I know it is very difficult, and we have only 5 minutes left, and within 5 minutes I cannot encapsulate the whole philosophy beyond my capacity, and very insignificant. But yes, more and more details are in 2nd and 3rd canto. So if you want to really check the details about it, and actually speaking, in my humble opinion, I'm not challenging anything. It's like Prabhupada's, Prabhupada, when he gave the purports, he was a kind of on a fast track. Fast track because he had less time, he had to, establish the whole movement. And Prabhupada always killed the suspense. This is it. Just chant and be happy. The Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the predecessor acharyas, they just took siddhantas from different sects. Then they wrote all those siddhantas in a, you can say, in a Vaishnava way, in our Vaishnava philosophy, with our Vaishnava philosophy. But what Shankara is saying, that's how actually the correct version of this is. What this Acharya is saying, that's the correct version of it. What this Acharya is saying. But Prabhupada didn't do that. Prabhupada just, took essence from all the Acharyas, established the fact, killed the suspense. Okay, Krishna was Supreme Personality of Godhead, take his shelter, chant his holy name, as you rightly said. If it is too mind-boggling, chant your rounds and then be happy. That's a fact. But we need to exercise our mind. Somewhere, either in Kalyana Kalpata or some book, Thakur Bhaktivinoda actually says that whenever you are not able to understand any tattva, just take a break, chant couple of rounds, then come back. Krishna will actually reveal. That happens. I'll tell my personal experience. When 6 years back, when I shifted to Vrindavan, I had like few set of books which I never touched. That okay, these are the books, whenever in my life I'll go to Vrindavan, I'll start reading these books, these commentaries. Like one is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that too the commentary by Srila Jiva Goswami. And believe me, Prabhu, I just took it, I just started reading it. Not even a single word I was able to understand of Jiva Goswami. It was just going left, right, above, everywhere, but not here. What should I do? Then I remembered that Kalyana Kalpataru thing. That yes, I should chant. Still it was not happening. Then what I did, that I prayed to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I am not able to understand anything what Jiva Goswami is saying. Please, please, please help me to understand something out of it. Then some inspiration came from inside. Okay, you read first my purport, which I already read. But when I read, then I went to switch to Jiva Goswami's commentary. Everything was crisp clear. That's why it is very, very important first to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, his purports, and then for further understanding go to further acharyas or the predecessor acharyas, then come back to Prabhupada's purport. It will make much more sense. And I can assure you, Prabhuji, whatever you are not able to understand in that philosophy, if you follow this track, it will be very, very easy. Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet. I don't know, I answered the question not because there was no question actually speaking. I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice lecture. I very appreciate your lecture. So Prabhuji, can you clear about Mahatattva? Some clearance about Mahatattva?
Mahatattva?
Yeah.
Can we discuss in person later?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And once more?
Yes, yes.
Prabhu, about our senses, all our senses, the mind is very important.
Yes.
Sometimes it's very difficult to control our mind. Means our desire, and sometimes we feel angry. So
yes.
Can you help me, Prabhu? Because with our prescribed duty, sometimes I have no time to chant my mala in the morning, to complete my mala in the morning because there's late night job even. It's difficult sometimes to control our mind.
Yes, it is
some tips, if you can help me.
I myself am struggling a lot, Prabhu. I also need some tips, but whatever I've heard from devotees like you, your good self, I will just repeat that. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Bhagavad Gita's commentary, he says, there are different levels. One is, first, the topmost is Smaranatmika Bhakti. It's always a constant remembrance of Lord Krishna is there in the mind. Then, a little lower than that is Mananatmika Bhakti. Okay, Smarana means remembrance. Mananatmika means we need to do Manan, meditation. How we need to do that? Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, whenever the mind goes a little here and there, just remember, try to meditate on some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Or any scripture which actually puts the focus back to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. If that is also not happening, then we need to do Abhyas Rupena Bhakti. Then we need to really practice, means physical practice. Exercise our mind more, that engage in some more activities. If that is also not possible, Kaya Rupena Bhakti. Kaya Rupena means cleaning the temple, okay, serving prasadam, cooking prasadam, serving Vaishnavas in whatever ways. There's a Kaya Rupa Bhakti. These are 4 levels. So either, it's from top to bottom, it's like descending. So as a sadhaka, we can start. That's why always Prabhupada used to say, seva, the service, the physical service is actually very important when we engage our senses. Because at sadhaka platform, it is very difficult to always have mind absorbed in Krishna. That's why, because mind, what about us, Prabhu? Arjuna is saying, I can control the wind. I have power to control the wind. Anybody can control the wind here? No, none of us. We cannot control even our verbs or the adhovayu. We can't control that. So Arjuna could control the entire vayu, but he said, I cannot control my own mind. Then Krishna says, Abhyasa yoga yuktena, that practice, Abhyasa rupena bhakti. So that Abhyasa rupena, practice. Then, practice. So practice. So kayena means the body, then Abhyas, then Manan, and then Smaran. That's how it happens.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Any other question or comment? I think we should stop here. It's already. Okay. 1 minute.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks a lot for a very, very wonderful class. Prabhu, just for my understanding, like as you were saying that, and it's also said that Krishna never touches the material nature. Like
Sorry, Krishna never?
Touches, like
touches, material,
but
yes.
When we understand all the energy is coming from Krishna itself, so how do we understand that it never touches?
It is through agency of Maya, the external potency. We know that Krishna has three potencies: external, internal, and tatastha. Tatastha we all jivas, external is Maya, internal is Srimati Radharani, Antaranga Shakti. So jiva is the part of tatastha Shakti, Maya is the external energy. So Krishna uses the agencies. When Krishna wants devotees to surrender, or you can say protect the devotees, Krishna uses agency of Antaranga Shakti. When Krishna wants to create material manifestation, or you can say bewilder the jivas further, he uses the agency of Maya. So he directly does not engage with the external energy.
But the energy is coming from Krishna itself.
Yeah. It is.
So in one way it's touching.
So
like
that's what I'm saying. These are all subtle. That's what I mentioned. These are all subtle. Like, because see what on the material plane, what we understand, because whatever is coming or related to this body, that's a kind of part of this body. My son, my family, my air, my breathing, my whatever it is. So in this, when we start relating in this way, exactly for Krishna, that is not possible. Because Krishna is Chinmaya, Chidghana. We are not Chinmaya, we are material. So that's why we can't understand how Krishna actually does that. How it is still untouched by Krishna. In one sense, it is touched by Krishna, in one sense. But actually Krishna, so touched here means there is no prabhava, there is no influence which actually Krishna or Vishnu actually gets from the material energy. Because material energy is Krishna's own energy. How the energy can influence the energetic. That's what the main internal deep meaning is, in my humble understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Vancha kalptarvyasya kripasa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama